Um, I'm gonna have to take a look and find the waiver and
It's
work
in
on
the
the other.
appendix. It's in the appendix
Yeah,
of the BIT.
yeah. I've got to look through the book to find it. But now that I know, I figured it was the basic
Hmm.
instructors program.
Yep.
So now I have to look through it.
Okay. And to be honest with you, like AI can write a really great one. Just go through it and read it, like really read it or have somebody look at it. You can have one
Okay.
in a few minutes, like a general liability waiver. Like mine covers a lot.
I know. I remember.
It covers a lot. Photos, Krav Maga, injury. It also covers the NRA range where I work out of. So, all right. Today, kind of, I want to talk about outside events, which we kind of started already about pushing yourself into other resources or other opportunities that are outside of our typical comfort zone to make relationship and build clients. And um, I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit before about doing community events. What Chambers of Commerce, is that what you're doing? Chambers of Commerce?
I was doing networking groups. There's a local networking group in Charlotte that they were looking for business owners to do um I'm sorry, to be a guest on their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So setting that up, I spoke with one of the young ladies, told her, we had a conversation about personal safety, and she said
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't really have the need for it. Then we got into her life story of someone stalking her, getting them arrested, someone cornering her, and her feeling uncomfortable, and someone just showing up at her place, not leaving, and left in handcuffs. So she's like, wow, she's like, I guess I really do need, to pay attention a little more to my safety.
Very
So
good.
just that offhand conversation of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not me pushing what I feel and just letting them kind of drop the breadcrumbs and pick them up from
We
themselves.
just call that good parenting, right? Just kind of like
Yeah.
kind of figuring it out. So
Awareness.
I do have a second homework for you. You're gonna do this live. So if you can, if you're not on your phone, I don't know if you can do it on your phone, do two things at once. I want you to Google gun shows near me and tell me what comes up. So while you're doing that, I want to talk about getting in a gun show. And I think some of this also depends on state law. It may not work well for you, but we'll talk about Virginia, Florida, West Virginia, our whole East Coast kind of thing. It works. I've been on a wait list for our, let's see if I can share my screen here, National Gun Show, for a year. A year. I've been on the wait list to get in, just to get one 8-foot table. So let's show me. Okay.
Have you seen any other instructors
Mhm.
at the, oh, okay, because there's like where we are in my market, I have yet to see another instructor. And personally, I've done 5 straight shows
Oh, okay.
and gotten 0 people.
Okay.
That's just me. I don't want to take any steam away from it.
No,
It
let's talk about that.
yeah.
So
So
what's the attendance look like?
I mean, it's 2-day event usually, so it's Saturday,
Mhm.
Sunday. And then I'd say probably 50% of the time the place is half full. So, towards Sunday evening or Saturday evening, there's not a lot of people.
Hmm.
Sunday morning, there's not that many.
Hmm.
But, in the beginning on Saturday and on the end on Sunday,
Hmm.
it's about half full. There's usually about 100 tables,
Uh-huh.
give or take. So what our next gun show here, just I don't want to take up everybody's time. I'm sorry,
You're
but
good.
there's a local guy who produces ammo, and he shares my stuff. I share his.
Uh-huh.
And I told him, I was like, I never get anything from these shows.
Uh-huh.
I was like, and I have class that weekend. I was like, but we're gonna like block that data out. I was like, and if you don't mind, I was like, I'll come work with you and I'll sell ammunition for you. I was like, give me the finer points of what I need to know so that
Uh-huh.
I can support your business.
Hmm.
And he's kind of like, I don't really know, I'm not really sure. And I was like, Adam, I don't want any money. I just want to be here to help you succeed. I was like, I just want to see you win.
Hmm.
And because that's his, I mean, he's a retired vet. That's his only job, and he produces it. So um, he's like taken aback by it. And I told him, I was like, I'll be here for 6 hours a day. I was like, I won't be here for the whole 8, but you tell me when you need me, and I'll be here to support you. And he was just like, he's like, we'll work something out. I'll pay you. I was like, that's not what it's about. So I would say for you, if there's somebody you're tight with that has a table, like, hey, let me, let me carry a little bit for you and be at your table to kind of work your way in and meet the people.
So they offered me a spot
Oh, sweet.
the day before because they had a cancellation. So
Hmm.
it starts Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they called me Thursday night. But I was in an instructor course. I had an instructor course that weekend. So I couldn't have done it anyway. But I
Hmm.
waited a year for that call. And what I want to do is to be able to teach classes, a CCW course there at the event
Okay.
and not just hand out information. I want to be like in 20 minutes for, again, it depends on your state law. We're going to have a 2 hour law CC slash CCW Virginia course um, to get people in, and or if they can't make it or want to stay, we're going to give them a really nice coupon code to come in and register for one. So my heart is to do it live, get in, get out, seize the moment. But our gun show is like 3,000 tables.
Holy,
It's huge.
a little different than over here.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like we
Yeah,
have
I gotcha.
thousands and that like they run out of parking and they have it every 2 or 3 months. So it's like here in Northern Virginia, it's humongous. Like you go in there, you're like beyond overwhelmed. Like you don't even know where to start. So even if I can get in and pass out, like to stand by the door and pass out coupon codes for permits, like that would make me happy. Just to, like you said, stand there for 8 hours. I could probably volunteer for the NRA and for their membership and do that. I could probably get in that way.
Nice.
But I want to see what else is available for you for these events. So when you're there, are you just like passing out flyers? Are you talking to people? Like, what is your, if you are not receiving any business from it, like, what is your interaction with people? Or just how are you presenting your business to them?
When I presented in the past, like with my own tables,
Yeah.
so I set up a television and it scrolled through all of our different classes of people holding up their targets or certificates, um, different, classes that we've held. There's pictures of firearms, stuff like that. And
Sure.
then all of the material that we use in class, all the learning aids, the little hand exercisers, mags,
Hmm.
stuff like that. So people come up thinking, why are you selling these random items? And I was like, no, this is what keeps you like paying attention when we sit you down for 8 hours and you got to learn all this crap.
Hmm.
So
So you tell me remind me of your state law for permit.
8 hours in class, 8 hours in class, cover the 9 basics of, safety.
Hmm.
And then qualification 30 rounds, 3, 5, 7 yards,
Okay.
10 rounds each.
So are they walking away with anything?
That day, certificate.
No, I'm sorry. When you're at the gun show, are
Oh yeah, business cards, hand out flyers, stuff like that.
okay.
Yeah.
I think a sign for me, not I'm not there, but if somebody's coming up and they can't look at your booth and tell what you are selling,
Oh yeah, we got a banner.
you have a banner.
Yeah, I got a banner, trust training, two big old guns on there, and then, kind of speaks for itself.
Okay. Maybe I would get a second one and put a QR code and a discount. A QR code, sign up
Okay.
today and save like something crazy, like 30% or 40% or whatever.
Okay.
So they can sit there today only, tomorrow
Mhm.
only, right? This weekend, we're doing 40% off if you sign up by Sunday night or close of whatever. Um, do you know how many people you interact with? Like 20, 200?
Probably say, um, probably about 50 through the course of,
2 days?
yeah, 2 days. Yeah.
That's terrible. Maybe not do that. Don't spend any more money on that.
Everybody is, so we're outside of like Charlotte city limits, and
Mhm.
everybody's a good old boy, and they grew up with a gun in their hand and
Yep.
don't need a permit and don't want to sit through an orientation class for 8 hours. And
Yep.
I know everything already. Like you said, I know how to shoot, and then you bring them to the range, and you're like, wow, yeah, you suck and you're unsafe. So, okay,
Right. So, in your 8 hours, do you cover law?
yeah, 2 hours. We have to cover 2 hours worth of law. Then we do strikeman, laser training
Hmm.
in class. So get people like the most I can see live fire without them actually live firing. Um, because most of the like 50% of the people we work with have never shot before. So
Right. He's same
yeah,
with me. Yeah.
yeah,
M Most of them have n never shot before.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't think 50 people is worth 2 days of work.
No, it's definitely not. It's especially not 5 times over. My wife has said this is a waste of time. You're spinning your wheels, and she's very analytical,
Yeah.
and I thank her for that. But I'm like, I'm nursing this plant. I'm trying to get it to grow. So I figured supporting Adam and handing out our stuff there as well. I mean, I don't think he has a problem with me doing that.
No, so I think that's smart. I think if you don't want to invest in another table and sit there for another, what is it, 16-hour,
Yeah,
two 8-hour days.
yeah,
If you want to go volunteer and he
hmm
allows you to hand out your QR code and your discount or whatever, and you get to serve him,
yeah.
I think that's a win. I think
I
that's a
too.
major win because you're not losing money. It's costing you time, but you're not paying for another table. Like
That's
our
true.
tables are expensive. They're like $600 for the weekend.
Oh, I was paying 75.
Thousands of people come though.
I was paying 75.
Yeah, no, this is like 600 bucks. Like it's huge. It's a year wait list. It's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. We waited. Yeah, about the same. And then once we got in, we then we skipped one time. It was like every 3 months, and then they never called us back again. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going out of my way either.
Yeah. So I might try other events like community events.
Hmm.
I would jump on a table on there on something like that and invest into something where there's more traffic.
Hmm.
Right? Because everybody at the gun show is gonna like you, right? Nobody spends money to go to a gun show to criticize the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So I might put yourself in maybe a little bit more uncomfortable situation and do like, I don't know if you guys have like Old Town events. Like we have these Old Town events all summer long. They shut down Old Town and people drink booze and they have booths and vendors and, you know, cupcakes and whatever, food. Um, so I would be m more interested in something that had more traffic.
Hmm. Gotcha. Or closer to a major like metro area where,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I mean,
Can I
there's,
give you a
yeah,
suggestion?
Go, Mike.
please.
I found that's been working really great for me lately is going on Facebook and going into forums of towns and cities around me within like a 2 hour ride and been putting out a flyer that I have pre-made with dates of the class
Mhm.
Mhm.
and putting down everything that I do and can teach and the states that I offer. And I've been pretty quiet for January. As you know, usually retail is quiet. And I've got the next probably 6 weeks of classes booked from that,
That's great.
all the way till I think March 8th. I'm booked up, something like that, every week.
No, that's great. We have a lot of training on Facebook. Um,
Some of them don't allow it, and I get that.
sure,
But, and they'll boot you out or say we don't allow, you
sure,
know, gun talk or sales or,
sure.
different excuses. But for that, I've had one group out of like 20 tell me and it happened today actually, that said I couldn't do it. But I'm pulling people from Massachusetts, I'm pulling people from Rhode Island,
That's pretty far. 2 hours is a pretty far drive to come to a gun class.
Well, I guess by either the way I presented it or some of its reputation, because I'll say, hey, so and so or so and so, because
Mhm,
they look you up on Facebook, they look at your profile, and they see something said or something
mhm,
somebody reacted to or somebody that they might know. And so far, so good anyway. I mean,
mhm,
it's not foolproof, but
mhm,
I got a question about Virginia
mhm,
since you're there. I have two guys in Connecticut here that are offering a course that's saying that it provides everything you need to get your Virginia non-resident permit.
mhm,
Now, I know that I called down there once, and every time I've called, I got a different story. One time they sent me an application in the mail. It's every time I call to try to find out, it's always something different. And what I don't like about this guy and what he's doing is that he's offering a course and he's saying, when you're done in my course, you can apply for, you know, Mass, Rhode Island, Florida, this one, that one, Virginia. He names like 7 states and he's doing it in 3 or 4 hours. And what he's doing is he's including it along with the Connecticut
mhm,
basic NRA course, which is 8 hours to begin with.
mhm,
He's doing it in half the time and he's giving people hope and telling them they're getting all these things and he's selling them for $500-600 a student
mhm.
this bill of crap, if excuse my language, but it's a bunch of shit. And he's selling them a perishable skill because Connecticut can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months to get, depending on the town or city you live in. And then most of the applications that you're applying for out of non-resident say they're good for a year. So now if it takes you 6 months to get your Connecticut, now you have 7 other places to try to apply in the next 5 or 6 months before they expire. And you spent all that money with all this promise. It's like me
Right.
selling you a gallon of milk that's dated today, but I charge you the same $5.
So a couple of things, some thoughts on that. So certificates in Virginia and Florida, I do not believe expire, if that's what you're suggesting.
Well, no,
Uh,
I know Florida will take a DD 214 from a
right.
World War II vet, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about for Connecticut. He's he's a Connecticut instructor, and
Sure.
he's promising like 6 other states in half the time of the course, and it's going to take them between weeks and months to get their Connecticut, and then they have no time to try to apply for the other,
What do you mean no
Utah, Mass, Rhode
time?
Island, Florida. What was that?
What do you mean no time? I mean, there's all the time in the world. I don't understand. You're muted there. You're muted. Try mute. There you go. Start over.
Sorry, most of the states that I'm talking about, like Utah, Arizona, Florida. Florida, no, but Utah, Mass, Rhode Island, for example, and Connecticut as well, say that it's because of state statute that certificate's only good for a year.
Okay.
So he's giving them a class today
There's a
that
lot wrong with
expires by next February,
that.
and
Sure.
it may take them till October, November to get
Well,
their permit, the first permit.
I don't know
And
how
then they
you're
got a short
mixing.
window to get the rest.
Well, I don't know how you're mixing a Utah course with a Florida course. I don't know how he's doing that because when you teach
That's my
Utah,
point. He's advertising Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island, Florida, Utah, Arizona, and Virginia
so
in
Utah
four
course
hours.
itself is 4 hours long. I think it's
I
4 hours long.
understand that.
But
And
and it
he's even added recently saying you get everything you need to qualify for New York and New Jersey. New York is a 16-hour course plus 2 hours at the range.
If it pisses you off that much, go report him.
Well, that's probably, I try to avoid that because sometimes when you do something like that, it comes back on you and people start digging. Not that I do anything wrong, but I don't, I'm not necessarily looking.
I've only reported one other instructor in 10 years of business, and it was really bad. And as a training counselor, and they're trying to teach NRA products. Um, they were breaking way too many rules for me. There's a gray zone, and then you're straight in the.
Well, that's where I'm kind of at. And I kind of sent the guy a message like, he doesn't know that, like, it doesn't say anything on my
Mhm.
personal profile that I'm an instructor or anything. And I'm like, stupid question. How can you promise giving all these things in a short amount of time? And
Did he
of course, he
respond?
hasn't answered me back, but
So
that's,
I think, well, a couple of things is that people that take that course and then go and apply, and he gets caught in the future, all those people are going to lose their permits.
and that's my concern. I don't give a shit about him. It's,
Sure.
I don't know how many people he's got lined up or has lined up for this in the past year, 2 years,
Sure.
whatever. Because that's all going to bounce back on them.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, I just took what the guy said. And they're going to be
Right.
like, oh, sorry.
So I've seen it in Maryland where instructors are trying to they're trying to skip the 16-hour course and do like 2 4-hour days or something. And all those people lost first of all, they lost all their money. Second of all, they all lost their permits. So, I mean,
That's another one he promises, Maryland too.
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
another.
Maryland doesn't even want to give them out. Never mind. Promise all that short,
Well,
what.
Maryland will give them out. Actually give them out pretty easily. It is a 16-hour course though.
Yeah.
The
I'm
2 days.
working on trying to do New York and New Jersey now
I
because I'm
think
so close in proximity.
Mhm. I think that's a great idea. Um, I think you should do that. I think that's great. You should do more.
I'm working on, I think I have everything together. A couple of other instructors have sent me some stuff and said, this is what we do. And I was speaking to a guy from New York
Mhm.
that does it. And, a lot of, even the certificate has like, you have to put a gold foil certificate that's embossed with the date of the year your business started on the bottom corner of the certificate.
Is that New
Like,
York? Who does that?
New York.
Yeah, of course. So Utah used to do that. Used to have to stamp every application that went out had to have your business stamp on it, but not in gold or it was just a stamp.
Yeah, well, Utah still does that. Your stamp is in red, and there's only two companies you could order them from,
Uh-huh.
and they're in Utah.
Uh-huh.
But no, this is, you get like a gold attaboy sticker on like a work
Wow.
certificate from your job. It's a sticker. I had to buy blank stickers on
Mhm.
Amazon and then
Uh-huh.
buy an embosser. Now I'm a notary, so
Mhm.
I can't use my notary stamp. I had to get an embosser with the name of the business, and in the center where it has your state, it actually says the year of the business
Mhm.
started, and you have to put that sticker on every certificate. You
Mhm.
have to assign a permit number, even though you're not the issuing authority. You have to have an individual permit number for each student, besides the number they're going to get assigned from the city. See, right now the mayor of New York City forced the hand and won a court case in the Supreme Court. I don't know if you saw it, but they forced NYPD to give out non-resident pistol permits.
Mhm.
And the difference with this state versus Manhattan and the five boroughs is that if you get this new permit, if you ever get it, which I told takes almost a year, and it's between class to permit to getting it in your hand, it's almost $1,000, and it's only good for 3 years. But if you get that one, you can carry the entire state of New York.
Mhm.
In New York, every county issues their own permit for the state. And if that county signs off on you, you can carry in the entire state of New York, but not Manhattan and the five boroughs. And they will not sign off unless you have property or live or have a business in those counties. So that's the attraction for people to this New York City one is you get the whole ball of wax, if you get through it. So it's a little crazy, but and then it's 16-hour class and 2 hours at the range. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
go on.
it was good information. All right, so everybody was looking up a gun show or maybe an event that you can run a table or pass out your information flyers, cards, get on the street a little bit. Did everybody find one near them? So ours it's called Showmasters.
I unfortunately didn't bother because Connecticut basically put the kibosh on all the gun shows.
Is there anywhere else you could go? Any other event?
Closest thing I could go to, which I've tried, were some like military reenactment kind of things,
It's
but
interesting.
they're only, obviously weather permitting in
Mhm.
spring and summer. So, and the Massachusetts the gun show, they have a thing called the Big E. It's the Eastern States Expedition, and
Mhm.
they have it in September every year, and it's basically the six surrounding states have buildings there, and they do all kinds of different things. And they have a gun show at the Big E in the biggest building they have a
Mhm.
couple times a year, but the table was like astronomical. If you're not selling something to make money, the table for the weekend was like $600-800. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's hard. Like that's why I want to do our CCW course right there and do them every several hours and keep it rotating through so I can make up my costs for my table and get people in and then take those people and I do a lot of private lessons.
Yeah, I've been getting that a lot lately too, is private lesson. That you seem to be better off with that sometimes.
Yeah, but all my private lessons come from my classes. I
Yeah,
typically very rarely
exactly.
teach
People are like,
outside.
can you show me this? And
Yeah.
since this is basic, I like to pre-schedule a couple of other dates that
Yes.
you're available, and it just, snowballs from there.
Yeah, it's a good snowball though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What if I wanted to get Virginia just to add to my collection of
Mhm.
having stuff? What does it entail exactly?
Um, a non-resident is just a basic pistol course certificate. It says in person only and is signed by an NRA instructor, fingerprints, and an application. I think that's it to the state police.
And they won't take your instructor credentials?
Um, no, but I would just make myself a certificate.
Yeah.
It does have to say in person only on it.
Okay.
And your
Just
name
print it
and
on it somewhere.
yeah, just print it out at home. You can make your own. It doesn't have to be an NRA or anything.
Well, I'm also a USCCA instructor too, so
Yeah, you can take any certificate. You can make them. It doesn't matter.
I even about make you laugh. I have. You remember the old instructor certificates that used to come in the packets with a little patch?
Mhm.
Somebody, I don't know, I got it from a fellow instructor. He had somebody make that old red certificate as a PDF that you can type on. So I even have the old.
Don't tell me that.
I
La la la.
know you can't use it anymore, but
That's fun. Those were so ugly. I really like the new ones though. It has
is
half
it,
the logo on
do you
it.
feel it's worth it in you being a training counselor? Because I get emails like daily and calls like once a month about, oh, we can make you a training counselor. And I'm like,
So
I
training
don't
camps
know.
for USCCA or the NRA?
No, for the NRA.
So the NRA training counselor course is very difficult. It has a 40% fail rate.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Like, this is all I do. I don't have another job. This is my job. Last week I had an instructor course, was 20 people at $3.99 a head. But it's a lot of work.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not, it's like so much, it's hours and hours and hours of admin work. But it's really great money and I really like it. And I really get to pour into our local gun community and make good instructors for our Northern Virginia area. So for me, it is. But I will tell you, it is one, it's hard to get accepted into the program, and then it's very difficult to pass the program. So I know for the training counselor, I think they're I think they're probably almost booked for the whole year. If they might have some spots in October or December.
Yeah, I look, most of it is, me having, so it's not only would I have to take vacation from work, as you could tell my lovely green, I work in law enforcement. Um, I'd have to take a week off of work. I'd have to go to Virginia, house myself, besides the ammo, the course class. And
Mhm.
it's gonna cost me probably $3,000-4,000
Mhm.
to take it. So that's what's kind of
But I
stopping
can
me.
make that up, $3,000 or $4,000 in one or two instructor courses if they're done correctly.
Yeah, I understand that. I just,
I think
you
it's
know,
worth the investment, but it's a lot of work. Like I can tell you how many, here's what I would do. Let me look on nrainstructors.org and see how many training counselors are near you. That will answer your question. If the market is flooded, I wouldn't
there's
do.
only two that I know of.
All right, let me look. NRA pistol instructor, rifle instructor. Let's look at that one. What's your zip code?
06514.
All right, let's do 100 miles of that zip code. Um, I'm gonna share this. Can you read that? See, you have quite a few, and they're all pistol instructors, and they're
Yeah. I personally don't. What I'm doing is I'm trying to build this up enough that I'm close to retirement. And I want to try to make it so that if I roll it like you're doing full time now,
Mhm.
yes, I'd still be working, but I can take my pension, all my benefits for my wife and then I can move on from there.
That sounds like great a great plan. So you have within 25 miles, there's somebody in Monroe, Stratford, Branford, and that's all within the same month.
Yes, yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah.
There's a few guys out on the Massachusetts, Rhode Island. They call it the quiet corner in Connecticut. Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island all touch the one corner, and there's a couple of guys out there too. So, and the other guys are out in Fairfield County down the New York line, which
Okay.
was all the ones that said Ridgefield and Fairfield and all that.
Mhm. Okay. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, my pleasure. Okay, guys, your homework this week is to find somewhere to volunteer or buy a table to just interact with the community and then give them something that is irresistible, like your class or a discount code or buy one, get one half off. I like that.
I've done where we do like a raffle for a
Yep.
free class. So that way you're getting everybody's information on that raffle ticket
Oh, so
so that
good.
you can follow up with them. And it really costs you one seat. Once again, my wife hates it because we're giving away money, but I see it as okay, well, if I've got 25 people that
Mhm.
maybe is way better than,
So, no, I totally agree. When we launched Instructor Stash, if you don't know what Instructor Stash is, that's our booking software that we use. I gave away 2 lifetime accesses, which were $3,000 a piece. Do you have one of those? Do you use it? Hold on.
I'm not
I have
familiar.
it.
What's that?
It's up, but it doesn't get much traction.
Yeah, but
Um,
are you not the traction, but are you using the software to book your classes?
no, I usually use through our website.
Instructor Dash is supposed to be in your website.
It is. It's there as well. There's two ways for people to book.
Why?
Um, because I'll talk to you sidebar.
Okay. Okay, that'll be interesting. Instructor Dash is a booking platform for firearm instructors. It does all the automation, does transactions, sends reminders, emails, text messages, stuff like that. Okay.
I'd like to find out about that myself.
Instructordash.com. It's two-way friendly. Okay, guys. It's almost 8:30. What other questions do you have for me?
Thank you personally for me. You've been very helpful.
Okay, good. All right, I put the link in our text if you'd like to check it out. I'd be happy to do that for you.
Lisa,
Anything?
I sent you an email with another couple of questions.
Okay,
Again, it would take too long in the class to, in the meeting to actually discuss it. But
I see it. It just came
yeah,
through. But you asked me something. You said, what else do you need for Virginia permit? Let me pull this up.
yeah.
You don't need anything. You need a certificate, your credentials, a certificate, and a class.
Hmm.
If you're teaching an NRA course, you need the proper materials, the books. Let me see if I can bring
So if
it.
I was to teach and offer Virginia as an alternative, I would have to just put in person on the certificates.
Mhm. Yep. In
Now, would
person.
I be able to hand out their application or do they need to
No,
personally get one?
no, you can hand out their application. Listen, this is Virginia. This ain't New York. We
Okay,
like guns, kind of, sometimes.
kind of sometimes, sort of.
Kind of, sometimes, sort of. You don't even need time on the, you do, it is not required for you to shoot in a Virginia permit. We
That's
do,
fun.
but
That's
it's not,
funny. It's not, also not required in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, even though the laws changed as of July 1st,
Mhm.
but they don't have a curriculum. And they said, just come back to them in 26 and they'll have it figured out. So we're still doing the old way. Do you remember, if you're a training counselor, the home safety course,
Mhm.
which is the course without shooting?
Mhm.
That's all they require to get a permit. So somebody could never have touched a gun,
Mhm.
take the home safety course from you, send the money into the state,
Mhm.
get their permit, and
Mhm.
then be done with it.
This is good and bad. So it's bad that they're not trained. It's good for the Constitution. I feel you. I hear it's a great debate. Like I did that um the governor today and we were talking about training what should
Um,
be required for our state. I feel like I had impact on the law today. Like what is, good for the state, what's good for the Constitution, what's good for safety, where's the balance in it? Should we have to charge somebody to engage in their Second Amendment right? It's a right, not a privilege. Who should pay for it? Should there be a cap on it? Like there was just so much stuff we talked about. And and I have very mixed feelings about all of it. Like if Virginia became a constitutional carry state, I'm going to be out of work. Like instantly.
Why is that?
Because no one is required to no the residents of Virginia would no longer be required to take a permit course. Now, the responsible ones will invest in their safety and their training, but business would drop at least 60%, because I've seen it happen in Florida. I've seen it happen in West Virginia. And then it takes 6 or 8 months for a business to come back up because people realize, oh, this was not a good choice for me.
There are some states, South Carolina, I think is one of them, where they changed the constitutional carry, and the state funds the instructor and makes the class free for the citizen. So if you're involved with any type of legislation or anything else at your state, put a bug in your ear to take a look at the way that works, because the fines and fees and the jail time always goes up when they change the constitutional carry, and then they remove the training requirement. So that's fish in a barrel.
Mhm. No, I agree with all of that. Okay, guys, what else do you got for me? You're gonna stay and chat with me for a few minutes? Um, anything else, guys? It was good. We're kind of small today. Usually I have about a dozen of you. My schedule's been unpredictable and I feel bad, but we'll get back on the track.
Take care and thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys.
Thank you much.
Bye. Ooh, I put him in a waiting room. I never did that before. All right, tell
Um,
me what you like. I want you to be successful. Tell me what you got going on your site.
so we've put like remember you